Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's poppin' with y'all? What's poppin', man? I just got through watching this Adin Ross and Young Thug interview, and as I was watching, I was clipping up some of the parts that I thought things that was said was pivotal and that I needed to further the discussion about. And something came to my mind. I was like, is these streamers like bigger than the rappers now? Because to me, it seems like they compromising themselves going on these streams with the lame ass individuals who really don't know much about hip hop. That's just my opinion. The Young Thug going on Adin Ross, the questions he asking, the body language and the things that he's saying, he is not a part of the culture. And our brightest and best people go up there and convey with them, and they don't go to other platforms that really prioritize the culture. Even when Kai Cenat didn't know who Wale was, I felt like that was disrespectful, to be honest with you. And Young Thug's aura is changing to me. It's not the same because he comes from that era when artists didn't do interviews. The mystique about those artists, it lasts longer. We never heard them talk. We just heard the music, and I appreciated that. So the first clip I'm gonna play is him talking about getting Drake and Future back together. This was interesting. Let's get to it.
Thought you gotta bring Drake and Future back together, man.
It's 2025 though.
What he say?
He said you gotta bring Drake and Future back
together. Can't be mad at this shit forever.
I gotta bring Drake and Future back?
That's a fact.
Listen, I'm trying. I can show y'all text messages in my phone. I've been trying this shit.
Well, you've been trying to make Drake and Future talk?
For sure. I was trying this shit in jail.
Wow.
Like, the shit I said in the song, trying to get him, Metro, and Pluto on the same page, that really happened. That actually happened. That ain't no cap. That really happened.
That's crazy, bro.
A lot, I just try to make it work, Because I know, like, shit. All y'all biggest hits, well, some of y'all biggest hits are together,
That's true. That album's
Nova
good too.
Hobbin tipped $1. Thug, I just wanted to let you know Adin was playing with his feet before he dapped you up.
And you think I would do that?
Prove it.
Exactly. Prove it, guys. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
But that's the shit that white people do.
Bro.
Throw about the
Oh man, that was funny, that ending part. Adin was playing with his feet before he dapped you up. Relationships come and they go. Drake and Future did make some of the best music of that era together. Their biggest hits was together. But sometimes relationships fold. Young Thug could have spoke to that because when you think about Gunna hasn't even mentioned him. He ain't even mentioned the situation. He has just removed himself. And a Future really hasn't mentioned. I know he initiated the beef doing the song with Kendrick Lamar and all of that, and he didn't initiate it. Let me stop that. The initiation was that song that J. Cole and Drake did together. And sometimes relationships just falter. You had a good run. Y'all got good memories. Y'all appreciate each other, but it's time to move on. And I know Thug's position, he feels as if he's a leader. He's the spokesman for the people in his culture. People tell him that too, that he's the leader. I seen they were speaking about that on that previous podcast that he just done with Ryan Clark and them boys over there at the Pivot Podcast. They were speaking to Thug like he was the leader. So I would like to see that relationship mend, but I don't think it's going to. I don't think that Future and Drake relationship is going to. Future is 41 years old, man. About to be 42. He don't got time for that foolishness. And what's crazy is that the youth don't even view him as that age. They still thinks that he's younger, and he still raps as if he's younger. But another thing that caught my attention on this that I wanted to give some time to, because I have an appreciation for that 2010 class of rappers, the Nipsey Hussles, the Big Seans, the Drake, the Kendrick, the Cole, the the Wale's, the Kid Cudis, when Kanye was running everything. I have an appreciation for that era. And when some artists was mentioned in Young Thug's top 5, I had to elaborate on it. Let's get to it.
What about top 5 rappers, no matter where, what country, what state you're from, all that?
Tupac, Drake, Wale. It's a tie between Wale and Big Sean. So I'm gonna combine them into one. Wale, Big Sean, Kanye West, and Lil Wayne. I'm tripping. Lil Wayne.
Damn.
Top 5
That's actually crazy.
of all time. Wale and Big Sean slept on. They nuts.
Wale has a lot of hits, bro. Like back in
You know, before I talk about the other 4, I want to talk about the Wale and the Big Sean conversation because, you know, I always talk about Wale on my channel. And I always react to his new music, his new freestyles and stuff. I should play that new freestyle that he just recently dropped. And he has classic albums, Ambition, the album About Nothing, Gifted, even the mixtapes, the Forlorn 1, the Forlorn 2, the one where he was out in LA doing all the songs. He has a lot of mixtapes that is phenomenal also. 11-1-11. And he's underrated. And I don't know why the culture don't appreciate Wale like how they do Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I don't understand why, because he got massive hits also. He got songs with Usher. He got songs with Lady Gaga. He got songs with Rihanna. You know, he got songs with Miguel that was nominated for a Grammy. And he was doing this, you know, kind of not funded like those other artists. He wasn't funded like a Kendrick Lamar or funded like a Drake. Also, Big Sean, one of the best rappers of probably that generation. Has to be. So I understand what Young Thug is talking about as him saying those are some of the tops in his top 5. Big Sean come from Detroit. It's the home of the spitters, the home of, you know, a lot of the culture. Just Detroit is a place, the buffs, the dressing fresh, the nice haircuts. Detroit is just a specific place to hip hop culture in general, with the Royce the 5'9s, the Eminems, the, you know, is T Grizzly from there? Yeah, T Grizzly from Michigan. Yeah. It's a few artists from Michigan that's just phenomenal rappers, and just Michigan as a whole don't get the credit that it deserves. But those artists are from places and regions where you don't talk about those artists being GOATs. DC, for Wale to do what he done coming out of DC, it should be commended. And I'm gonna give him a round of applause for just mentioning them 2 brothers. Now the other 4, Tupac, Drake, Ye, Lil Wayne. Tupac, he ain't even should be in the top 5. He's in a category alone. That's Tupac. That's just Tupac. Drake, that's pop. He has contributed a lot to hip hop, but that's pop music. Kanye, he is embedded in the culture to the point of like, you know, production, fashion, rapping, producing for Hove. Kanye is in a stratosphere on his own also, because he may have been the artist that has contributed the most to hip hop. Lil Wayne, you know, everybody wanted to be Wayne at one point in time. He had one of the greatest runs of all time, but his fall off is kind of hard. But yeah, I consider Drake pop. And I want to play a clip of Adin Ross asking Young Thug who's better, Kendrick Lamar or Drake.
Kendrick, like, who the best?
That's what he's saying, yeah.
I gotta say Drake.
Oh shit.
He just did more. He put more people on. Not saying that Kendrick didn't put nobody on, but Drake just did more. He put more people on and he got more numbers.
Shaq, what about what were you saying?
You know, statistically, number wise, statistically, impact on the culture, impact on the world. Kendrick Lamar got a hell of an impact. He for sure number 1 ever in life. Could possibly come out of LA.
Right.
Nobody in LA could never ever be bigger than him.
That's crazy. No, you're right.
He the GOAT of the whole West Coast. He the GOAT of the whole West Coast for sure. Well, I don't know. I probably say Nipsey, but number wise,
I like Nipsey better.
yeah, I like Nipsey better too. But I think number wise, Kendrick Lamar beat him. And Kendrick Lamar, Drake or Kendrick. Like,
My fault for that error at the end, but it's okay. You know, it was interesting him saying that he included Nipsey, but he had Pac in his top 5. Nipsey is one of the greats too, though, but his run wasn't long enough. He didn't have enough music. What's crazy is that he said Drake put more people on. He got more numbers. He just did more. After the beef has settled, that's an interesting question coming from somebody who was locked up during the beef and couldn't say much, because I wonder how he would have reacted during the time of the beef and what he would have said. Because I think that Thug has collaborated with both of the artists and done music with both of them. And to be honest with you, I think K. Dot is a better rapper than Drake. But overall, Drake has more numbers. He's done more. He's collaborated more. Hip hop is kind of dry without the Drake feature from the most pivotal artists at the time. It is. I'm just going to be honest with you. K. Dot ain't featuring on all the young niggas' music like that. He is featuring on some. I'm not going to discredit him and say he ain't featuring on a lot of the music, but he's not featured on, up and coming artists, the street, the trap, you know what I'm saying? And K. Dot said that he's a colonizer for doing that or whatever, though. But I feel like it's needed right now. Drake may have had more funding. That's another thing. More funding than Kendrick Lamar has had. More bots, more investment, more. So it seems like it's more. So if you don't understand the programming, and if Young Thug doesn't understand the programmer, which I doubt he doesn't, he could be believing what he's saying, but K. Dot the better rapper. Drake has the bigger impact. Let's get into what he said about what his top 5 albums is.
My bad. Top 5 albums.
So Much Fun. The Black Album, I think. Jay-Z, the Black Album. Take Care. Drake. All Eyes on Me.
Tupac.
And I think it was Drip Season 3 or 4. Gunna album before we went to jail.
Oh.
Oh man, he keep throwing shots in at Gunna. This is gonna have to stop eventually, because that is actually ruining the perception of him. People are viewing him differently because he's speaking about somebody that is not responding to him. This is an interesting 5 because none of these albums are my top 5. Not even All Eyes on Me. That's not Tupac's best album. To me, Tupac's best album was Me Against the World. It may be because of an age preference, or, I was living during that time, and the way that album hit is just something about Me Against the World. That's his best album ever. Tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, get in the comment section and prove me wrong. All Eyes on Me might be the most impactful because it was the most drama going on. He had just got released from prison and signed to death row and all of that, but that's not the best music. Now I want to say something about So Much Fun. Young Thug, that's your classic. You may not be able to beat that. You said in multiple interviews that you was having fun around that time. It took a collective to make that album of people that was features, the J. Coles, the Gunnas, the Drakes, the production on that album, the cohesiveness, the graphic design and everything. Future, you killed it with that one. I don't know if you'll be able to make another one of those. Take Care, that's a great album from Drake. It's not in my top 5, but that may be his best album. What y'all think? What is Drake's best album? Y'all perspective on that, I would like to know. And Gunna, Drip Season 3 and 4, that ain't, the best work that Gunna has been putting out is the work that he has been doing recently on his own. That's just my opinion. Adin Ross asked some interesting questions of some things that we never heard from Thug before, or we never heard his thoughts on the type of music he listened to, the type of artist that he thinks is the best. Because those artists are very impactful. Wale, Big Sean, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Drake, Tupac. No Jay-Z or Nas mentioned. You know, when he first introed this episode and when he introduced himself, he came in there with baby oil. You know, Diddy is in the... When he first came on Adin Ross stream, he had a bottle of baby oil. And I was like, what is this nigga doing? Then later on down the line in the conversation, he was talking about his love for Diddy and him wanting to see Diddy released.
Under the Ciroc with the... Holy shit.
Stop saying Ciroc because you're making it about Diddy, and it's not about Diddy. This is my OG.
You're right, I'm sorry.
I love
I ain't gonna
Diddy.
disrespect a man.
I'm not against him.
You're right, bro.
I overly love him. Love
You're right,
OG.
bro. You're right.
Praying for your freedom every day.
Yeah, he'll be out in probably 2 days. So
Yeah.
you're gonna throw him a party.
Yeah, he gonna want to see you too, because he's gonna see all this type of shit. He
Oh,
gonna want to
okay.
see you, nigga.
So would you?
I'm
If I
telling
do,
you now, he gonna want to see you.
if I do Diddy on stream, will you call me?
Absolutely.
Promise. You promise?
Absolutely.
All right, bet.
They're assuming that he's going to get out in 2 days, but people writing letters, family members writing letters, you know, Young Miami writing letters talking about she want to see him come home. Mama writing letters talking about I want to live my last few days with my son being free. This Diddy case has been a movie, a story for the ages for hip hop. Young Thug saying he want to see him free. I understand that though, because he was in prison. Well, not prison. He was in jail in Fulton County. Diddy in the real jail, you know, where the real criminals at. But he might be in a safe space or whatever. I don't know. But jail to me, I haven't done nothing but 36 hours max in jail. It felt like I did 30 days. I'm a wuss. I'm going to be honest with y'all. When it comes to that jail, I don't think that's for no man. I think rehabilitation is needed. And if your actions don't improve after you rehabilitated, then you got to go to some facility for the rest of your life. But jail is not a place for rehabilitation. Jail is a place for punishment. Just my point of view. I want to read this note that Cassie sent to the judge, a letter that she sent to the judge, because Friday, you know, this Friday, a couple of days, they're going to be having the closing argument about what they want to give him, how much time he's going to do. A lot of people think he's coming home. A lot of people think he's going to do 5 to 8. I seen all over the blogs, all over the media, that they looking to give him 11 years. For the Mann Act, for the prostitution charges and all of that, all the things that we had heard from Jaguar Wright, all the things that we heard from, what's Buddy name to be doing all the Vlad TV, the security guard, Gene Deal, that's his name. All those stories we heard. Loose Cannon down in LA talking about he seen him clapping Carl Winslow cheeks. And for him to only be charged with those things that he's charged with, and people believed everything that was said on social media, man, I think Diddy should do 2 years, $10 million fine. Come on home, dog. Shit lame as hell, to be honest. Let me read this letter. So this letter is to the Honorable Orange Submarine, Submanian United States District Judge, Southern District of New York, 500 Pearl Street. Dear Judge, I have been in a cycle of thought and then overthought writing this letter to you. If there was one thing I have learned from this experience, it is that victims and survivors will never be safe. Although I can hope for justice and accountability, I have come to not trust anything. I hope that your decision considers the truths at hand that the jury failed to see. For sure, 4 days in May, while 9 months pregnant with my son, I testified in front of a packed courtroom about the most traumatic and horrifying chapters of my life. I testified from that age 19, Sean Combs, and violence, threats, substances, and control over my career to trap me in over a decade of abuse. He groomed me into performing repeated sex acts with hired male sex workers during multiple day freak-offs, which occurred nearly weekly. I was forced into lingerie and heels, told exactly how to look, and plied with drugs and alcohol so he could control me like a puppet. You know, I want to stop right there and speak for a moment before I continue reading. You know, we are insensitive to women, but a lot of things came out in this trial as if she was a willing participant in some aspects and that she physically called and wanted more of this. She wanted to entertain more of this. I want to say something, but I want to continue reading because the financial aspect of this and then still testifying is very interesting. But let me keep reading. I testified that I learned to read Sean Combs' signals, knowing that when he spoke a freak off, he was demanding them, and that refusing meant punishment, losing my car, my phone, or worse. He controlled every part of my livelihood and threatened to destroy my reputation by leaking sex tapes, and threat he repeated often. His power over me eroded my independence and was not sufficiently responsive. He also threatened people around me and those close to me, including my family. I regularly worried that displeasing him meant putting my family and friends' safety at risk. I testified how, beyond the threat, Sean Combs frequently and used violence to get his way. Over the nearly 11 years we was together, Sean Combs would hit me, punch me, stomp me on my face, pull my hair, and throw my body to the ground and against the wall. The jury saw pictures of my bruises on my back from Combs kicking me and saw the deep gash over my eye. Cause when he slammed me into the bed frame, the entire courtroom watched actual footage of Combs kicking and beating me as I tried to run away from a freak off in 2016. People watched this footage dozens of times, seeing my body thrown to the ground, my hands over my head curled into a fetal position to shield me from the worst blows. This physical violence caused bruises that makeup artists paid for by Sean Combs would cover up, as well permanent scars all over my body. So she's advocating for them to take into consideration all the things that she has been through and hope to see him sentenced for a reasonable amount of time because she feels threatened that if he's released, that he could retaliate against her. And you got Young Thug saying, free Diddy, that's my mentor. You got a lot of people in the music industry saying, free Diddy, that's my mentor. This is a messy case. This is a messy situation. Oh, man. And I'll be back Sunday. Me and my dog, Water Guy TV, Rob, will be talking about the sentencing and whatever years or amounts of time. If he's released, we'll be talking about it and giving our perspective all over the case. But I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation, man. I appreciate y'all for supporting me. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's further the conversation in the comment section below. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.